Hello, hello, hello. How do you do? I'm glad to be with you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are. It's another wonderful opportunity to be with you live on the Grace Impact Radio on Financial Intelligence Moment with the FBI Coach. My name is Charles Eze. It's a great privilege to be your host once again on this wonderful day. It's another wonderful time to be on Grace Impact Radio, where word, music, and entertainment lives. Here we give it out hot and spicy. I believe you don't want to touch that dial. Stick to Grace Impact Radio because a lot of goodies awaits you. You get to listen to mind stretching, life transforming, and rejuvenating messages, music, and all what you have here. So stick with Grace Impact Radio. Okay, we are continuing on our book review, which is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. First, I want to appreciate those joining me on Facebook and on YouTube. If you are watching live on YouTube or Facebook, I appreciate every one of you. Please tell me where you're viewing from. Drop it in the comment section. And also remember to drop your favorite emoji. And also, don't forget to share this link with as many as you can. If you have the Grace Impact Radio link, share it with your contacts. If you have the YouTube link, share it with your contacts. Let's be a blessing wholesale. You know, that's my mantra, being a blessing wholesale. I have come to learn my life to give out more use value than cash value. Use value means I'm giving people more than what they expect, more than what they pay for. Now, when you give more than you are expected of, you will get more than you expect. Okay, so it's that simple. So let's share the link. Let's share it in our various groups, to our various contacts. Let's invite them to learn from what we are sharing on this wonderful channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, the channel is FBI Coach, one word, FBI Coach. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like my little man will always say, remember to activate the bell so that whenever we drop valuable content, you'll be one of the first to know. Okay, so activate the notification button so that once I drop any hot content, any new content, you'll be the first to know. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Thank you for being with me on this journey. It's been fantastic, reviewing this book, Think and Grow Rich. There are 13 mind-stretching, mind-boggling, mind-blowing nuggets, 13 principles which he shared in this book. And from week 1, we have taken it one principle per week. And today, we are moving. I feel like say to your neighbor, we are moving. We are on the move. So today we are on the 11th principle, which is chapter 11. And chapter 11 talks about the mystery of sex transmutation. The mystery of sex transmutation. First time I read this chapter, I was like, what's this man talking about? I had to read the chapter again and read it again, and now grasp the full understanding of what he was talking about, what he was referring to. And it's awesome. It's amazing. Napoleon Hill describes the power of sex transmutation as that sexual urge that is powerful. It has the powerful force. And oftentimes, men lose their focus, they risk their lives, they risk their career, and also their money to quench this desire, to quench this sexual urge, sexual desire, just to make sure they gratify the flesh. Now, and if this sexual urge, according to Napoleon Hill, what he's saying in this book, said if this sexual urge can be transformed into creative energy, it has tremendous power and ability to boost your willpower, to increase your earning capability. Have you ever had a sexual urge? Now, this is for adults. I don't know if children are listening to this, but if you've ever had a sexual urge, and you're so engrossed in that urge, it makes you want to tear up anything that comes your way. Now, what Napoleon Hill, now don't look at me that way, those watching on YouTube as though I'm one, don't look at me like a saint. You understand what I'm talking about, right? Now, what Napoleon Hill is trying to say is if you can channel that energy, if you can channel that same urge into creative energy, into creating something, your life will never remain the same. When I discovered this, and I said, whoa, really? So I started working on it. I started transforming that sexual urge into positive things. And I saw a tremendous result. Now, there was a time I carried out an analysis. I had to pass questionnaires. I interviewed a few persons. How do they manage their sexual urge? How do they control their sexual urge? And the questions I was asking was in line with this chapter 11 of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So in summary of that questionnaire, some people, most especially women, the female the female folks, they said when they have that sexual urge, 75% said when they have that sexual urge, they try to suppress it. They try to suppress it into distracting their mind, getting busy with one activity or the other, or they listen to music, or they get a book and read, or they just do some workouts. Whichever way, they try to suppress it. Okay, that's what 75% said. 20% said when that sexual urge comes, they try to quench it at all costs by looking for a partner. Then 5% said they try to channel that urge, that energy into something that will make them create something spectacular. So that 5% said the great results which they've had in life is as a result of channeling their sexual urge into something more productive, into something more creative. So in that 5%, some say at that time they pick up a book and a pen and they start writing. Some said they start, and I remember a few persons said they started their podcast. They started their podcast through that means. So many people have different persons have different ways of handling their sexual urge. So it now boils down to what do you do when you have such urge? So Napoleon Hill is trying to tell us here that we should be among the 5% that channels their sexual energy into more creative channel. Now, I have talked about the female counterparts, okay? Coming to the male counterpart, it became the opposite. When they have sexual urge, remember I said the female counterparts, about 20% try to look for a way to satisfy that urge. 75% suppress the urge, while 5% put it into creative energy. But when it came to the male counterparts, 75% said they try to get a partner to quench that urge. Some get into different vices just to make sure they get that sexual satisfaction which they wanted. Okay? While 20% said they try to suppress it by distracting themselves, and the same 5% put it into something more creative and all that, something that can birth great ideas. So as Napoleon Hill writes, when driven by this desire, men develop keenness of imagination. They develop courage. They develop the willpower, the persistence, and creative ability unknown to them. at other times, just to make sure they satisfy that urge. They try to start scheming. They try to start building bridges here and there, just because they want to satisfy this urge. And they didn't know that this creative ability was lying in them. They didn't know they had this innate potential. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you're getting me, please put it in a comment section that, yes, Charles, I'm understanding what you're trying to say. Okay? So Napoleon Hill is saying that when this urge comes, when this desire comes, you see men trying to come up with different strategies, different ways they can solve that particular problem. Now, this chapter sounds awkward, but the concept and idea that Napoleon Hill was trying to share are quite simple. It's quite simple. He wants his readers to understand that sexual desire is one of the strongest human desires. And if this willpower can be channeled into your productive and creative faculty, it can be life-changing. It can be life-changing. According to Napoleon Hill, he said that sex is both energy and emotion, which has 3 benefits. Sex is both energy and emotions, which has 3 benefits. Number 1 benefit is the perpetuation of mankind, that recreation, okay? And then number 2 is health maintenance. There are health benefits when sex is done rightly, okay? Then number 3 is, he call it transformation of average ability to genius through transmutation. Now, transmutation means harnessing the power of sexual energy in making us rich. That's what he's trying to say in this book, okay? And this can be done by redirecting your thoughts from the physical meaning of sex to creative efforts. It's just a thing of a mindset. It's just a thing of you telling your mind, look, I'm not cut out for this physical 5 minutes gratification. I'm not cut out for this physical short-term gratification. I need to channel this energy into creative efforts. The creative force can be in the form of art. It can be in form of literature. It can be in form of music. It can be in form of acting, or even increasing your sales turnover. As a human being, except you are born a nun, as a human being, you must have sexual urge. You must have that burning sexual desire, okay? But the question is, what do you do with this desire when it comes? So you need to, now, you also need to understand that redirected sexual energy is part of creative energy behind wealthy people. See, there are 3 forces that can pull man down. There are 3 forces that can bring man from up there to the lowest level in life. Number 1 is sex. Number 2 is money. Number 3 is power. Sex, money, power. Power intoxicates. Power intoxicates. And absolute power kills. So if you have power and you don't manage your power very well, it can lead the person to destruction. The same goes with money. You see some people, they are very wealthy and they start misbehaving with their money. They start molesting people. They start mistreating people. Money can make you, money can mar you. It depends on how, but if you use money according to God's dictates, according to God's principles, according to God's will for your life, you will be more wealthier. Then the third one is sex. Sex is meant for like Napoleon Hill says, for mankind perpetuation, for health maintenance. So if sex is used rightly, it will lead you into great ventures in life. Sex has killed a lot of people. Unwanted sex, premarital sex, trying to get a quickie. It has killed a lot of people. It has destroyed destinies. It has destroyed destinies. So what we are trying to say today is, if you can channel this energy into productive energy, you will achieve more in life. Now, someone is asking me, how do I know when to, how do I channel this sexual energy into positive energy? It's simple. It's simple. First, you need to understand how your body system works. At what time does your creative energy comes up? Some people, they get ideas when they are bathing. Some people, they get ideas when they are taking a walk. Some people, they get ideas when they are talking to people. So you need to find out what works for you. Okay? So when that energy comes, that sexual energy comes, redirect that sexual energy into that thing that breeds creative energies in you, and start working on it. That's what Napoleon Hill is trying to say. Okay, there are 10 main stimuli for human mind, which Napoleon Hill talks about. And these 10 main stimuli, he said, number one is the desire for sexual expression. Number two is love. Number three is a burning desire for fame, for power, financial gain, or money. Number four is music. Number five is friendship between either those of the same sex or opposite sex. Number six is a mastermind alliance. I think last week we talked about mastermind. Yeah, we talked about mastermind. So if you missed last week, or you don't understand the mastermind, please go to my YouTube channel and watch the previous edition. Okay, you understand the mastermind very well. And before I continue, have you shared this link with your friends, with your loved ones, with your contacts? Now, if you haven't shared, please share the link. Share it as far as you can. Share it as fast as you can. Let everyone come to learn. Let everyone come to scoop from what we are learning today. Let's be a blessing wholesale. Of course, you know that a pipe that carries oil will definitely be oiled as well. So as you make yourself a conduit pipe to be a blessing wholesale to others, I want you to understand that your life will also be transformed, okay? Then number 7, he said mutual suffering, such as that experienced by people who are persecuted. Number 8, he talked about autosuggestion. Number 9, he talked about fear. Then number 10, narcotics and alcohol. Now, these are different stimuli. These are different things that that pumps up adrenaline in the human mind. Napoleon Hill believed that a genius is developed through his sixth sense. What's his sixth sense? The sixth sense is the creative ability. Napoleon Hill called the sixth sense creative imagination. You find that in chapter 6 of this book. He called it the creative imagination. The ideas that come to a person's mind through the sixth sense is in the form of the following. Number one is infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence. And infinite intelligence comes from God. God is the one that has, I don't know what you believe in, but I believe in God. I believe in my maker, and he is the one that gives me the ability to create wealth. He has given me the power, the creative imagination to create wealth. So the infinite intelligence comes from God. Then number 2, he talked about the subconscious mind. A lot of people joke with their subconscious mind. They don't know how powerful their subconscious mind is. Now, the subconscious mind, we're going to treat it in the next chapter, because that's what Napoleon Hill talked about intensively in chapter 12. Okay. Then number 4 is other people's conscious thoughts. In other words, scooping from other people's intelligence, scooping from other people's mind. Then number 4, he talked about other people's subconscious thoughts. Remember, there are 2 things there: conscious thoughts and subconscious thoughts. So, okay, so this chapter 11 explains the creative faculty of a trained mind. Once you train your mind, it can increase your performance, it will increase your life, and it will increase your output. You know, sex transmutation requires a lot of willpower and persistence training. You know, for you to start converting your sexual energy, your sexual urge into creative power, it requires a lot of training. It requires a lot of persistence. It requires a lot of work on your side. So you need to start working on your mind. You need to start working on yourself. You need to start working on your understanding your makeup, understanding how ideas flows through you. You need to understand it. Once you understand these things, then maximizing that sexual urge will not be a problem to you. You know, people who lack sexual energy are never enthusiastic, and they fail to inspire others. I'll say that again. Those who lack sexual energy, sexual urge, they fail to inspire others. They are not enthusiastic about life. You know why? Because there is no push. God knows why he instilled, or rather, he built that sexual urge in human being. He knows why. And it's part of the things that creates the energy you have. Now, this is the most important requirement in salesmanship. That urge, that enthusiasm, that willpower. It's one of the most important requirements to convert energy into money. You know, the period of, he also talked about that the period of 40 to 60 years are the most productive age of a man's life. The period of 40 to 60 years, they're the most productive age of a man's life. And that's even the afternoon stage of your life. You know, the life of man has 4 stages. We have the money stage of life, 0 to 25 years. Okay? We have the afternoon stage of life, 26 to 55. Then we have the evening stage of life, from 56 to 75. Then we have the night stage of life, from 76 and above. The money stage of life is the stage when you know all that you know today. That's your foundation. That's when you go to school, you learn, you would have, it's expected that you would have finished your high institution, you would have graduated, you would have built your learning foundation very well, okay? Then you are moved to your afternoon stage of life, from 26 to 55. At this afternoon stage of life, it is the time when you decide how you want to earn, where you want to earn, why you want to earn, with whom you want to earn. At this stage of life, you can hire and fire your boss. At this stage of life, you choose, you change from jobs. You know, you build the wealth which you have. Now, some persons, out of life circumstances, they are still, instead of completing their money stage of life, they see themselves still in their afternoon stage of life, doing the things they ought to have done in the money stage of life. Now, I don't want you to start beating up yourself. I don't want you to start crying and wailing. you make most of every stage of life you see yourself in. Okay, so if you are in your afternoon stage of life, I don't advise you to go get enroll in the university at full time and start studying. I don't advise that. What I advise is that you can do part-time. You can do part-time studies while get a job, get a business, get into wealth creation. Okay, you can marry both, so that by the time you are living your afternoon stage of life, you won't live a life of regrets. You won't live a life wishing, oh, I wish I would have maximized these years. I would have done this. I would have done that. No, you don't have to live a life of regrets. Now, peradventure, you are in your evening stage of life from 56 and above, and you feel you haven't done what you ought to do in your afternoon stage of life. Like as I said earlier, don't cry over spilled milk. Make most of where you find yourself today. The reason why you are hearing this is for you to make amendments. It's for you to correct the anomalies, okay? It's for you to take advantage of what is going on right now. Now, if you need a guide, you can private chat me. I will guide you on this. I have done trainings for companies, pre-retirement trainings and post-retirement trainings for multinationals, for that's oil servicing companies, government parastatals, private companies, individuals. I have done a lot for them. So if you need a guide on this, you can send me a message. You can send me an email on charlesezeonline@gmail.com, or you can send me a private message on my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is, if you are chatting from out of Nigeria, you need to put the +234 7033 109363. I'll call my WhatsApp number again, +234 7033 109363. That's my WhatsApp number. You can send me a private message and I will guide you, and okay, we'll have extensive discussion so I can help you get out of whatever situation you found yourself. Okay, I have done this for companies, I have done this for individuals, I have done this for government parastatals, so it's not going to be a challenge for me. Okay, now it's important to induce balance in everything you do. It's important. You need to balance your life. When love is mixed with sex, it brings calmness and accuracy of our judgments. You know, some men also mix it with faith. You know, some men mix it with faith, which results even in more powerful energy. Okay. Now, the secret, however, lies in understanding the process of transmutation. That's where the secret lies. Understanding how to redirect that sexual energy into a productive, creative energy. All negative emotions can be transferred into positive emotions by changing your mindset, by changing your thought pattern, by changing how you think. If you are seeing the cup half full, you need to start seeing. If you're seeing the cup half empty, you need to start seeing it half full. Okay, it all starts from your mind by changing your thoughts. Now, this is the road to becoming a genius. That's just the road. Once you can change your thought pattern, once you can change how you see that energy, that sexual urge. It's not about men alone. It also happens in women. Okay, it happens in both sex. So what we are sharing today is helping you deal with some negative vices which sexual energy has pulled you into. See, there are so many things a lot of people delve into when they have this sexual urge. You know, but you need to liberate yourself today. You need to emancipate yourself today. It's not helping you. It's not developing that creative potentials in you. Some of you, when you go through these things, at the end, you start regretting, you start asking God to forgive you and all that. You start weeping and crying. Some don't even regret. They don't even feel pains over it. They don't feel they have done anything wrong. But whatever, I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to condemn you. But what I'm trying to say is that if you channel that energy, if you channel those thoughts into creative energy, into creative thoughts, you will 10x your life. Whatever you are achieving right now, you will 10x that thing because of this energy. People are slowly, how do I put it? People slowly carry sexual energy by themselves, just to, I'm trying to get the right word. Some persons carry their sexual energy, who carry sexual energy tend to deprive themselves of the major happiness which they should have gotten from creative ability, because they have not used that sexual energy rightly. They are not able to enjoy their wealth and their life. You see some people, they have a lot of money. Some men, they go out to drink. They carry a lot of women. They are trying to look for happiness, and they are not happy. At the end of the day, they get so moody. They get so worked up, and they're asking themselves, where will this peace come from? Where will this happiness come from? If you can redirect that sexual energy into something positive, you will be amazed how your life will turn around. I'm speaking from experience. When I read this book several years back, I told myself I need to understand what this man is saying in this book. I had to read it over and over and over again. I started practicing it. Rehearsing it. I started putting it into practice, and I'm much better. It made my life a lot better. Whenever the sexual energy comes, I transfer it into creative abilities, and God has also been helping me, because I went to God and prayed. I needed the Holy Spirit help because I can do it by myself, and that's how God helped me, and I was able to channel this energy into more creative and more successful, and I'm getting more successful output. Sex is physical and love is spiritual. You need to understand this. Sex is physical, love is spiritual. That is why love associates itself with infinite intelligence. That's why love is attributed to God. God is love. Okay? When romance is added to this feeling of love and sex, all obstructions between the finite mind and the infinite intelligence are removed, and a genius is born. When you mix, you have sex, which is physical. You have love, which is not physical. And you mix it with romance. In Igbo language, they say there's this a slang in Nigerian palace. They say egweji. Egweji means something extraordinary, something out of normal happens. Okay, so transmutation of sexual energy into creative energy involves two major steps, according to Napoleon Hill in this book. Number one is accumulator of sexual energy. Number two is redirecting this energy. First is the accumulator of the sexual energy. Second is redirecting this energy into something more creative. So this chapter may sound awkward, like I said earlier, but the concept is very simple. Napoleon Hill wants you to put across that sexual desire in one of the strong, or let me put it this way. What Napoleon Hill is trying to say, he just wanted to put across that sexual desire is one of the strongest desires, in human existence. And if this willpower is harnessed into productive and creative energy, the results can be life transforming. The results can be mind boggling. The results can be awesome. The results can be off the roof. It's really amazing how he took his time to analyze. You just need to read this chapter. Okay, you just need to read it, because if you read it, you understand how sexual energy can be transmuted into physical energy. Now, it's not about avoiding sex. It's not about avoiding sex. Okay, Napoleon Hill could not say what he wanted due to his time. The time frame he had to analyze this particular subject. But with a bit of imagination, we can figure out what he meant. Number one, he's indirectly saying that men, stop masturbating. Masturbation kills. Masturbation makes you, it slows down your mental metabolism. Let me use that word. It slows down your productive rate. This part it might seem so obvious, but it's not. He didn't state it clearly. It is critical that you read this book. It's important. It's expedient that you read this book, so you understand what he's trying to say. So he's trying to awaken that senses. He call it the sixth sense, the creative imagination. He's trying to awaken that sixth sense in us to understand that we don't need to indulge in these vices. All we need to do is to use it for positive energy. For positive energy. There was a time I read a book about effects of masturbation. I'm trying to remember the name, who wrote that book. I can't remember the author. So I went to do a lot of research. This was like 13 or 14 years ago. I read that book. So I went to do a lot of research on the effects of masturbation. I got so many ideas, but in all, a lot of people have a lot of views about it, but in all, it steals something from you. It steals creative ability from you. Okay, so Napoleon Hill is trying to tell us here, instead of getting into those vices, instead of channeling your energy in that way, you can as well use that energy for something creative, and you'll be glad you did, because this is the 10th step to becoming riches. You want to be very rich. You want to be very rich and extremely rich. Then you need to handle this energy rightly. You need to handle this energy rightly. Once you do that, you will be amazed how a lot of things would have transformed in your life. I believe you got value from what we have shared so far. I believe it's been a time of expose, a time of learning, a time of sharing. So I would want you to please share this link with your loved ones, share it with your friends and families, share it with your contacts. Let everyone get to watch this and also channel their energy rightly. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. It's been my pleasant pleasure and a privilege to be your host on today's Financial Intelligence Moment with the FBI Coach. Until I come your way again next week, keep being financially intelligent. Remember, one income stream is dangerous. Remember, be a blessing wholesale. Have a fantastic day. Bye.